question calls for some speculation.
Your Honor, may I respond? Mr. Perkins has taught Mr. Perkins has taught Ray Conta for 4 years, and therefore he can testify to how Ray Conta acted in his class.
That objection is overruled.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I thought Ray was a reliable student. She always turned in her assignments, she knew the music, and she worked harder than most kids. Just a good kid all around.
Did you also know Jason Johnson?
Yes. Jason was a student in my class. He was a good student, and I believe he became a senior.
Well, what did you observe about his behavior in his senior year?
He changed. He wasn't the same kid I worked with for those first 3 years.
Why would you say that?
Well, he stopped showing up for rehearsals, and he seemed to lose that passion he had for the music.
Do you know who Alex Weaver is?
Yes, Alex was a student in my class who transferred from Mount Sierra High.
Was Alex a good student?
Alex was not a very good student. He never turned in the class assignments, and he had some bad behavior.
What kind of bad behavior?
He was very anxious all the time during my classes. He would frequently ask to be excused to go to the bathroom in the nurse's office. There was this one time he was waving around a large wad of cash, just stuff like that.
You know where Alex got that lot of cash?
I have no idea.
Did Alex Weaver transfer to Rosewood the same year Jason's behavior changed?
Alex came during Jason in his senior year, so yes, he did.
Would you say that Alex is popular?
I would, but it's strange. Senior transfer students don't usually become popular.
Why would you say that Alex is popular?
Well, Alex was always in a group, shaking hands, slapping back, chit-chatting.
Counsel, you cannot stand in front of the.
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor, I didn't realize I was standing in front of the table.
Go ahead.
May I please be here?
They need to have a clear view.
Yes, of course, Your Honor, excuse me. Did you see Alex shake hands often?
Yes, it happens quite frequently.
Did you ever see Alex in possession of a blue backpack?
Yes, Alex often carried around a blue backpack.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Before I begin, my name is Justin Baptista. Mr. Perkins, the defendant and Alex were both students in your class, correct?
Yes, they were.
Now, let's say members of the band have been a little bit rowdy and they act up a bit at times, correct?
They can be a little rowdy, yeah.
And you think the band gets a bad reputation, correct?
It can have a bad reputation with some people, but not overall.
So you do think that they have a bad reputation, correct?
With some people, yes.
So that would bother you, correct?
Not entirely. I dislike that the principal has a bias against the band, though.
So if, let's say, if the lead drummer of your band would be convicted of a felony constitutional murder, that would reflect poorly on the band, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
You know, overruled. It's such a self-evident question. You can't go anywhere with this question. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like me to review?
Yes, please.
So if the lead drummer of your band were to be convicted of felony crimes such as murder, that would reflect poorly on the band, correct?
I think it would reflect worse on the lead drummer's character than on the band. You see, my band is made up of so many members that I don't think one specific member would cause such a defamation of my band.
Okay, and you also think Alex Weaver is on something, correct?
I think that Alex Weaver might be on something, yes.
You never reported to any of the school authorities that he's on something, correct?
No, I didn't. You see, I had no proof that Alex was actually on something, and I didn't want to accuse him of doing something so horrible if there was no evidence to this case.
So you never reported to anyone that Alex Weaver was on something, correct?
No, I had no evidence to show for it.
Thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Redirect, Your Honor. And once again, my name is Sadie Brock. Mr. Perkins, are you here testifying because you don't want your band to get a bad reputation?
No, I'm here testifying today because I want whoever did this crime to be caught. I just want to tell the truth.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Your Honor, I have no further questions. May this witness be excused?
Yes, you may step down.
Thank you.
Defense have any further witnesses?
Yes, at this time, the defense calls Dr. Casey Burke to the stand.
Dr. Casey Burke, please proceed to the witness stand.
once again, my name is Pooja Katau.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial competition?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated and state your name to the court, spelling your last name.
My name is Dr. Casey Burke, B-U-R-K-E, and for scoring purposes, my name is Annie Kim.
Good evening, Dr. Burke.
Good evening.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a doctor, specifically a coroner. I worked 25 years at Spring County Coroner's Office. In addition, I've been published numerous times, including a widely used textbook on drug abuse.
Now, I'd like to talk to you about Jason Johnson's medical records and autopsy report. Have you seen them?
Yes, I've reviewed them extensively.
And what did you learn from these documents?
Mr. Johnson had an advanced case of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM as us doctors call it. The muscles in his left ventricle were severely thickened and would have posed great stress on his heart and blocked blood flow to the aorta, especially after his alcohol consumption.
So, Dr. Burke, Mr. Johnson had consumed alcohol. Were there any other substances in his system?
Yes, there were traces of Adderall found in his system.
And is it possible to know the exact amount of these traces?
No, but I agree with Dr. Sanchez that it's consistent with taking around 40 milligrams in a 10-hour period or so prior to his death.
So, Dr. Burke, with this information, what was the most probable cause of Mr. Johnson's death?
In my medical opinion, it is most probable that alcohol exacerbated Mr. Johnson's pre-existing heart condition by triggering an abnormal electrical impulse. This induced a cardiac arrhythmia, which led to cardiac arrest and death.
What was your reasoning behind this conclusion?
Well, the autopsy report shows that Mr. Johnson had an advanced case of HCM. Because of this, his cardiac arrhythmias would be caused by the combination of alcohol and HCM.
You just talked about alcohol and HCM, but is it possible that Mr. Johnson's cardiac arrhythmias were caused from HCM alone?
It would be possible, as cardiac arrhythmias are a common symptom of HCM.
Now, I'd like to talk to you about Dr. Sanchez's conclusions in this case. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am.
And do you agree with Dr. Sanchez?
Although I agree with Dr. Sanchez's findings, I respectfully disagree with him on his conclusion.
Why is that?
Well, Dr. Sanchez believes that Adderall was the cause of death. However, he is neglecting the negative side effects that alcohol has specifically on HCM, such as the triggering of cardiac arrhythmia, which Dr. Sanchez and I both agree was the ultimate cause of death.
Dr. Burke, you talked about a lot of different variables that were in Mr. Johnson's system at the time of his death. Is it possible to know the exact cause of death?
No. There was more than one substance found within his body, more than one potential factor to Mr. Johnson's death. Due to this, neither Dr. Sanchez nor I can definitively determine the cause of death.
Thank you, Dr. Burke. Your Honor, nothing further at this time.
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Burke, you retired 3 years ago, is that correct?
That's correct. I've
And-
been retired for the past 3 years.
And you have, you were the assistant coroner medical examiner for Rosie County, is that correct?
Yes, I worked there for 25 years.
And just to reconfirm, you did review Dr. Sanchez's medical records, is that correct?
I read Dr. Sanchez's autopsy report and Mr. Johnson's medical record, yes.
Right. And you are aware that Jason had HCM, is that correct?
That's correct. He had an advanced case of HCM.
And you also know that there's approximately a 0.05 blood alcohol content found in Jason's body, is that correct?
That's correct. There was a .05 BAC at the time of death.
And you are aware that Adderall is contraindicated in patients like Jason with HCM, is that correct?
In general, yes.
So it is your opinion that the Adderall found in Jason's system does not suggest amphetamine abuse, is that correct?
That is correct. 2 isolated incidences alone and with these amounts found is not enough to constitute amphetamine abuse from a medical perspective.
Thank you, Dr. Burke. There are no further questions.
Redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor. May this witness be excused?
Yes, you may step down.
Thank you.
And at this time, the defense calls Dale Piper to the stand.
Thank you.
Dale Piper, please proceed to the witness stand.
And once again, my name is Pooja Patel.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial composition?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated and state your name for the court, spelling your last name.
My name is Dale Piper, P-I-P-E-R, and for scoring purposes, my name is Jacob Julian Vaughn.
Good evening, Mr. Piper.
Good evening.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a social worker. For the past 7 years, I've been the program director at Achieve, a nonprofit in Diamond Heights.
Could you tell the court a little bit more about you?
Achieve provides services for low-income families. We help them achieve their dreams of education, employment, housing. We do this a number of ways, providing families with the services they need.
Mr. Piper, I'd like to talk to you about Ray Concha. How do you know Miss Concha?
I met Ray last year. We started volunteering at Achieve in order to earn community service hours for school.
And after Miss Concha completed her required community service hours, did she continue to volunteer?
Yes, she did. Although she completed the necessary service hours she needed, she continued to help out at the center a few hours each week.
What sorts of volunteer activities did Miss Concha help with?
Ray did a lot to help the center. She answered phones, moved boxes, sorted through donations. But I would say her help as a peer counselor was most helpful towards the center.
Mr. Piper, what's a peer counselor?
Peer counselors are young people, just like Ray, who are selected and trained to counsel other young people on issues they face, such as family problems and drug and alcohol abuse.
Who trained Miss Concha to be a peer counselor?
I've personally trained her myself and got to know her pretty well. Soon after I started training her, I could tell she had a way with people and really cared about the well-being of her clients.
Mr. Piper, based on your observations of Miss Concha at Achieve, would you say she's a responsible member of the community?
Ray is a very thoughtful person. Most people that come to the center, they only volunteer to complete their community service hours, and after that, I don't really get a chance to see them again. But Ray, she stayed, she kept volunteering at the center, so I would say, yes, Ray is a responsible member of the community.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. Your Honor, nothing further at this time.
Thank you. Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Piper, the defendant has never prepared for a takeout day, correct?
I'm sorry,
Objection, Your Honor.
Wait, I didn't even hear the question. Has never prepared for
A takeout day.
takeout.
Your Honor, lacks foundation as to what takeout day is.
Sustained.
Mr. Piper, do you know what takeout day is?
Yes, I do.
And the defendant has never prepared for that, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. I renew my objection to lacks foundation as to what takeout day is.
You need to elicit that testimony from me. What is takeout day?
Okay. Mr. Piper, what is takeout day?
Takeout Day is, at Achieve is a day we have every month. It's when we supply our low-income clients with supplies they need, like food, just different supplies. It's one of our most successful events. It's actually my personal favorite.
And the defendant has never prepared for a takeout day, correct?
Well, there was this one time she did.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance?
Overruled. Go ahead.
Ray actually did help prepare for a takeout day.
You give a witness statement, correct?
Yes,
You never would ever lie in your witness statement, would you?
of course not, no.
Then how come in your witness statement on page 40, line 34, although Ray has never prepared for takeout day?
That was before actually the March 15th takeout day. She helped bring plastic baggies.
So, you never asked the defendant to bring those baggies into the center, correct?
Well, actually, I announced to a group of people.
So yeah, you asked a group of people, correct?
Okay, let's not interrupt the witness. You announced it to a group of people, is that what your testimony is?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
And to that group of people, you only asked them to get large baggies, correct?
I think so, yes.
So you, at that time, you never asked for small baggies, correct?
No, but we always need small baggies for takeout day. We use large baggies and small baggies.
And you don't ever recall the defendant ever bringing those baggies to the center, correct?
Well, I know Ray likes to help out in any way she can, so I know Ray brought the baggies.
But you don't recall the defendant ever bringing the baggies to the center, correct?
I know Ray brought the baggies.
You don't recall her ever seeing that Ray brought the baggies, correct?
Oh, no, I never saw her.
And according to you, the defendant has never appeared to be under the influence of any drugs or alcohol, correct?
No, she has not.
And it would shock you if you found out the defendant was actually a drug dealer, correct?
Yes, that would shock me very much. I know Ray pretty well, pretty well, and I would never think for her to be a drug dealer.
Thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
No redirect, Your Honor. May this witness step down?
Yes, thank you.
At this time, Your Honor, the defense calls Ray Concha to the witness stand, and we also request a time check.
Ray Concha, please proceed to the witness stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give will faithfully and truthfully conform to the facts and rules of the mock trial competition?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please be seated and state your name for the court, spelling your last name.
My name is Ray Concha, Concha, and for scoring purposes, my name is Tara Sama.
The defense has 6 minutes, 12 seconds remaining.
The prosecution would also like to call for attention.
And the prosecution has 5 minutes, 38 seconds remaining.
Thank you.
Once again, for scoring purposes, my name is Christina Wadsworth. May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Good evening, Ms. Concha.
Good evening.
Did you know Jason Johnson?
Yes. We've been best friends for ages. We were in high school together, and we were in marching band, and I managed to be in that crew.
Ms. Concha, did you get along with all of the other members of the marching band?
No, Alex Weaver has always disagreed with how I managed the band's music, got angry with me when I sided with Jason on arguments, and made me feel really uncomfortable.
Well, what did Alex Weaver do that made you feel uncomfortable?
Well, once in January, I was taking my daily dose of Adderall, my prescription medication for ADHD, in the nurse's office, and Alex saw me and came up to me and asked me for some
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. Move to strike.
Oh, it was going to be hearsay. You want to address that?
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, a question asking for some adding does not have any truth of the matter and therefore is not hearsay.
Oh, wait a minute. Your question was?
I'm sorry, what this witness just said was, Alex Weaver asked me for some Adderall. First of all, that is not a statement because it is a question and therefore does not contain any truth of the matter. And second of all, we are using Alex Weaver's statements.
The objection sustained. Rephrase your question, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did Alex Weaver say anything else that made you feel uncomfortable?
Objection, Your Honor. This calls for hearsay.
Your Honor, we are using these statements for the effect on the listener, Ms. Concha, who was then felt uncomfortable, not for the truth of the matter.
Objection to removed. Go ahead and answer, please.
Well, first he asked me for some Addy, and then I thought he was joking, but he got serious and said, I think I know where I can get some, which, like I said, made me feel really uncomfortable.
Objection, Your Honor. We asked the relevance of that statement.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Well, Ms. Concha, didn't anything else happen later that day?
Yeah, somebody broke into my car and stole a bottle of Adderall I'd left in the glove compartment.
Okay, well, did you report this incident to the police?
Obviously, I wish I had now, but no, not at the time.
All right, now, I'd like to talk about Jason Johnson, Ms. Concha. Did you notice if Jason missed any school during his senior year?
He missed a day or two in February. When he came back to school, he told Alex and I that he'd gone to a concert and that he passed out and he'd taken Adderall and that he had a heart condition. I was really worried about him. I told him to take care of himself.
Okay, well, do you know if he took your advice?
No, he didn't. We played a gig on March 26th and Jason didn't look too good.
Well, Ms. Concha, do you know why he didn't look so good?
No, I tried to ask him if he was okay, but he didn't want to talk, and by the time the show was over, I couldn't find him.
Okay, so what did you do after the show?
Well, I still have to take Alex and his drum kit and the backpack home from the gig.
What happened once you got to Alex's house?
Well, I dropped him off at his house, he got out his stuff, and I went home.
All right, now, Ms. Concha, I'd like to talk about March 27th, the morning of Jason's death. Did you see Jason that morning?
Yes. I saw him one morning in practice, in the parking lot. I could smell alcohol in his breath. I'm a peer counselor for HU, so I deal with stuff like this a lot, cases like this. When it's your friend, it's something different. He said he wanted to quit the band. I didn't know what to do.
Ms. Concha, what did Jason do next?
Well, practice was about to start, and he just walked away.
All right, well, how did Jason appear during band practice?
Jason collapsed during band practice, and the paramedics came. It was really scary.
Ms. Concha, did anything happen that was unusual later that day?
Next thing I knew, Principal McAllister pulled me out of class and walked into the parking lot. I saw that my car's trunk was open, so I thought there'd been another break-in, and Sam Shumway was standing next to my car and said that he was a police officer.
Well, did the police officer say anything else to you?
Yeah, he pointed to a blue backpack and some bags of pills in them and asked if they were mine, but I'd never seen them before.
Well, Ms. Concha, they were in the back of your car. Do you know how they got there?
No, I have no idea. Somebody must have put them there.
Okay, well, you do have a prescription for Adderall. How do you know that the pills in the back of the car weren't your pills?
Well, I always keep my prescription in the bottles they come in. I don't put them in bags.
Hey, now, Ms. Concha, have you ever
2
given
minutes.
or sold Adderall to anyone?
No, I did not do this.
Thank you, Ms. Concha. Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Redirect, Your Honor?
Yes.
For scoring purposes, my name is Walter Patel, spelled Patel. May I proceed? Ms. Concha, you were a peer counselor at Achieve, correct?
That's right.
And you were counseled on how to treat people with drug and alcohol abuse, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Piper trained me as a peer counselor.
And about a month earlier, you found out Jason was taking Adderall, correct?
Sorry, a month earlier from what?
From a month earlier from his death.
Yes,
And he also confided in you and told you he had a heart condition?
yes.
You thought this would be dangerous, correct?
Of course, someone that doesn't have a prescription for a drug should not be taking it.
And as a peer counselor, you told someone right away, correct?
I told Jason to stop taking drugs and alcohol twice.
Wait, you never told an adult?
No, I tried to handle it with Jason myself. As a peer counselor, I thought I could help him.
So you told him just to stop taking Adderall?
Twice, yes.
That's all you did?
I tried very hard for Jason to stop abusing drugs and alcohol, but he wouldn't listen.
I'm just sorry, I want to clarify. You told him twice to just stop taking Adderall? That's all you did, correct?
I told him twice, yes.
So that's a yes.
Yes,
Thank you. Now, you have ADHD, correct?
that's correct. I was diagnosed in 10th grade.
And you take Adderall in response to ADHD, correct?
Well, my doctor prescribed me with that, so yes.
And your prescription is for 3 pills a day, correct?
Right,
And when you received your prescription, you read the side effects?
of course, they were on the bottle.
Thank you. Now, you were part of a band with Jason, correct?
Yes,
You were the band manager, correct?
right. Jason wanted me to be there.
You had many responsibilities.
Yeah, I sold T-shirts for the band. I managed the band's music. I scheduled gigs. Yeah.
You named the band, correct?
Well, we all named the band. I brought a few names to the table.
And one of the names that you brought to the table was Double Trouble, correct?
Right. It was my mom's nickname for my brother and I.
But it was slang for Adderall, correct?
I found that out later.
And after you found that out, you never changed the band's name, correct?
I didn't think it'd be right. We'd already advertised the band as Double Trouble, but
So
I'm
the band-
really ashamed of the name.
So the band's name is Double Trouble.
Right.
And you're ashamed, as you said, correct?
Of course, I didn't know that it was a street name for Adderall when I named it.
And you never changed it.
No.
Now, on February 22nd, you were at Achieve, correct?
Right.
You wanted to help for takeout day, correct?
Sure, I saw that they were missing bags, so I ran out and got some.
But you never helped before, correct?
No, but I knew about the event.
So you decided to spontaneously buy baggies for a chief, correct?
Sure, I run a lot of errands for Chief, and I thought that they would need some.
Thank you. Now I want to shift your attention to March 26th. That night, you drove Alex home, correct?
Right,
That was one of your responsibilities as band managers, correct?
right.
So it was nothing new, correct?
No,
So you took Alex home, correct?
I did.
And you sat in the car while he got his luggage out of your trunk, correct?
Right, I sat in front of my car while Alex opened the trunk and got his stuff out.
So you never helped him.
No, I didn't.
You never looked into the back of your car to see what was there, correct?
No, I didn't.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect, Your Honor.
Yes.